This is Trucks and Tractor Power. And today, from Florida Sports Park in Naples, it's the Gator NTPA Nationals. The Superstocks are the NTPA signature division. They closely resemble the tractors down home on the farm, but their wheels-up style and their heavy plumes of black diesel smoke really represent their calling card. Now, we've not seen the Supers on TNN for a while, so here's Army Armstrong with a refresher course in Superstock tractor pulling.
The Superstock tractors. Boy, I tell you what, a big crowd favorite. Today we're going to be looking at the 7,500-pound category, the middleweights in the competition known as Superstockers. You know, a Superstock tractor has a lot of appeal because all the manufacturers are represented here. So if you're in the agro industry and you drive a John Deere, you're going to be pulling for a John Deere. You drive an International on the field, you're going to be pulling for an International. Everybody wants bragging rights in the Superstock category. You know, one of the interesting things I see about this class is what you see may not be what is real. For an example, the rules say you must run a stock appearing rear end, a stock appearing transmission, and a stock appearing engine. Well, they do appear to be stock, but that's where it stops. These particular tractors we're going to be seeing today will run as many as 4 turbochargers. They will be generating 12 to 1,500 horsepower. Now, this particular setup has turbochargers outbound. The 2 on each side dump into 1. There's 2 of them back up under the engine you can't even see. Mega horsepower is what it's all about. But no matter what brand you have, what kind of horsepower you have, there's one thing about these guys that everybody loves. They smoke, they bellow, they cough, and they hack the horsepower on the other end. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, these are the ones they call the smokers.
And Army, let's take a look now at a list of the manufacturers represented here in this competition. And you can see it's dominated by the IHs, the International Harvesters. Now, we'll have a chance to take a look at that Oliver tractor a bit later in the show. We always get asked on these pulling shows for more information about the sled. So earlier, Army had a chance to take a closer look at that piece of yellow iron.
What you're looking at is one of the main components of a pulling sled. One of the main 3. It's called a main drive and frame assembly, and it's what holds the other 2 together. The second piece we're going to talk about is the weight box itself. We actually have 12,000 pounds of weight in this box right now. And what the sport of pulling is all about is this box, because as the vehicles hook onto the sled and pull it down the track, total weight being around 42,000 pounds, this 12,000 pounds of weight moves forward. As it moves forward, it changes the balance of the sled, putting more of a direct pressure on the front of the sled. That puts more weight on this piece of metal right here called the skid pan, and that's what literally stops these guys in their tracks. Now, the sled operators have come up with a couple of new things. One of them is the fact that this weight runs downhill. That's a safety factor. But the other is there is a pad underneath the front of the weight box. And that, again, helps the drivers to realize that when the box is topped out, it's just like running into a wall. It's going to nail it in the ground.
Well, here is a look at Rich Lustick's Silver Bullet. This is the Oliver that we mentioned earlier. You may recall one of his other vehicles, the Super Steeler, one of the biggest Steeler fans ever out of 84, Pennsylvania. Earlier, Army took a look at the Silver Bullet.
The Silver Bullet of Rich Lustick, a unique individual, a unique piece of equipment. Why? Very simple. He's playing within the rules, right on the edge of the rules. You know, it's interesting in the Superstock category, they say you must run the same type of engine that came in the frame. Only one tractor ever came out with a V8 engine. It was called an Oliver. Well, this is an Oliver frame. It's got later model sheet metal on it, but he can still run the V8 engine. So he brings all the technology from other forms of motorsports to the head design of the V8 engine to make all types of awesome horsepower. You take the head designs from other sports such as drag racing, you tie it in with 3 turbochargers, and you've got a phenomenal amount of horsepower. But there's one other piece of equipment on this tractor that is really unique. That is the fueling system. In a class that is known as a smoker class, this particular vehicle does not run diesel fuel. It runs methanol or alcohol for fuel. So when they go to the line today, don't look for the black smoke to be coming out of the Silver Bullet. It'll be pumping pure all day long.
And so here is Lustick as he will prepare to take it out of the gate.
You know, one of the things that's interesting here is he's looking at the gauges. Why, if you could watch these guys' eyes, it's like watching a tennis match. They've got so many gauges that they're trying to get the boost up. You know, one turbocharger makes horsepower. These guys are running 4 of them. Look at the intensity, the concentration.
Look at the insignia on the helmet. Talking about a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
He's an NFL fan, that's for sure. Okay, but right now he is pulling the big boys. Let's see what's going to happen. Missed the weight a little bit. That means it's light on the nose. He's mile an hour. Look at making all kinds of horsepower. That's what the sport is all about. It's called a full pull, my friend.
It's also a test pull. The sled was not official. That was the full pull, but that was the first pull of this class.
Now, this is what's unique about the sport. There'll be a meeting with the driver and the track official as to what the sled should be left alone or modified, and there's an honesty factor here. It's amazing. They'll go back and reset that sled, make it heavier, I would imagine, Gary.
But if I'm the driver, I have a full pull.
That's just you. That's what.
Oh.
That's why you is where you is, and he is where he is.
All right. Well, with that in mind, we'll take you from the broadcast booth back down trackside to have a visit with Rich Lustick.
Gary, the silver bullet pulls first, makes a dynamo run, but the track crew picks up the option. They're going to change the sled, making you come back and run again. Does that bother you at all?
Well, I wish we'd just see another tractor come again, but we can't come straight back, so we're going to be back in sixth position.
Will the track go away by then? That's the big question.
I don't think the track's going to change much, no.
So, a full pull for Knox. They'll add some weight. We'll come back with more as you see the weight going in right now. Coming back with more from Naples. Welcome back to Trucks and Tractor Power at Florida Sports Park here in Naples for the Gator NTPA Nationals, a part of the Copenhagen Skull Pulling Circuit. Coming up next, there is a look at George Everett in the smokeless alternative. Now, he is very active, not only as a competitor, he is an NTPA Executive Board member. Normally competes in the lighter classes like the 5,500 Superstock division. So we've added some weight out of Monrovia, Indiana. That's the same hometown of Gary Bettenhauser.
There you go. That's right, Chief Gary. As we look at the gauges come up on the
Chief Gary?
A moment ago, you made reference that he normally runs a lighter class. Where he's added weight to this tractor is in the form of physical weight. It's mounted right in front of the rear tires. It's painted yellow. I want you to look for that. Now, listen to the whine. Really? See the weight right in front of the rear tires? That's where he added to get up to the 7,500-pound maximum weight. But he's not pumping out the black smoke either, Gary.
Well, that's the smokeless alternative. Another alky burner. Well, he's short of a full pull. Let's take the measurement. We're coming up with just under 285, 284.09 for George Everett.
Okay, now we only had one John Deere, but he told me back in the pit area, it only takes
nothing runs like a deer.
Gary, when he leaves the starting line, you can see him start to muscle. Right hand's on the steering wheel, left hand's on the throttle. But those big old tires start to dig in. They plant the horsepower. Now he's got the horsepower of the ground. He's trying to generate speed, mile an hour, trying to pull the sled. He's at half track, Gary Lee. What's it look like to you?
Well, Army, keep in mind they added some 4,000 pounds. We don't know if this will be an official run until it's all over. Now, watch the body English. He leans back in the cockpit, trying to get as much weight as possible over the rear axle. Falls short at 284.09. He's with Army.
Well, George, you just indicated to the track official that, yes, you indeed want to take the pull. What is the track like out there? You guys seem to be able to get a handle on this track where other classes can't.
It's pretty soft and loose. I was about 100 light or heavy on the front. I should have moved two back and got her nose in the air. I think I could have got it out, but should be a couple of them get it out that's behind me yet.
Well, let's see what kind of a prognosticator George Everett is as we take a look at Jerry Van Dorp.
Gary, it's kind of missing out. Each sport has its own terminology. You know, he just made a statement. He should have moved two back to get her nose in the air. All that means is he missed the weight. The balance was wrong.
Out of Charlotte, Michigan, Jerry Van Dorp, the Screamin' Demon 2. He was the 94 Region 2 champion. He was the Pro National champ in 91 and 93. Some 30 years into sport. There is the distance to beat, and there we're going to see some smoke this time.
I'll guarantee you are. Now watch the color of it. Once it gets black, he's watching the gauge, he's working the throttle. Well, you watch the smoke. When it goes to black, it's getting gray, coming up on the turbos, starting to light it up a little bit. Down on the horsepower end, watch for black smoke. We got it. Throttle up, just like lift off at the Kennedy Space Center.
And from the sled cam, taking it down. Let's see if we can take it out of here. One of 5 international harvesters in the pulling competition here this afternoon. Oh, a good ride so far.
Weight box goes up on him.
No. 284, we're being told. 284.08.
Now, on the 40-foot track, he went middle to the left. Let's see what the other drivers do.
I will take a look again and watch the black smoke.
Again, those big tires, see how you don't see a lot of bounce or anything. They are going about their business. They are putting the horsepower to the track. The smoke on the front, a little bit gray for the first 50 feet, starts to blacken up. Now it's gray again, so the fuel mixture, not exactly what he was looking for, Gary.
Yeah, he missed the fuel mixture. You could tell that in the smoke. He comes up short. In fact, very close to the same run that we saw turned in by George Everett. So just a tick off what George turned in. So once again, we'll go back to the track side. Army has Jerry.
Jerry, you can't be disappointed with that run. If we're playing hand grenades, you'd have been there.
Well, my motor had a miss in it. It's just a fresh motor, so there's something wrong with it. Somebody will full pull that if they get it right.
Well, once again, another prognostication. We will have at least one full pull. And coming up next is Terry Blackbourn. Terry drives the slow ride tractor.
You know, Terry has watched all the guys in front of him. One of the things that you may mention a while ago, our previous driver, been in the sport for 30 years, you're going to find a lot of that in the pulley sport, a lot of second, third generation. And Terry will watch the man in front of him and capitalize on that 30 years experience to see where he's going to run the sled.
Well, of course, he's been around for some 15 years. Now, he runs 3 turbos with alcohol. We will not see the black smoke.
These guys pump enough fuel through these tractors to float the Goodyear blimp or to blow it up in about a second and a half. There's a lot of air that runs through that motor.
Good catch on the weight, though. Not much rise in the front end.
He balanced it out good.
Full pull, I guess he did.
Here, we're sitting here.
He watched the front of the tractor, not the front of the sled. So he does indeed pull it out of there. The first to do so, Terry Blackbourn, out of Wisconsin, has the full pull.
He actually made it look even. Easy. Excuse me. He's going past the 75-foot mark into the horsepower. You don't see a lot of exhaust coming out anywhere. It's just making power. Camera is getting a little bit dirty, but the 300-foot, see the flagman right off to his left. That's the 300-foot mark. Red flag right there.
There it is. You have it, a full pull. And here's Army.
Well, my friend just showed it could be done. The big question is there anybody else back there that can make a full pull and come back after you in a pull-off?
Oh, yeah, Army, that weight, you seen him run that test hook, it'll be there. And we tried taking a little power out of ours, trying to get hooked up, and I think we can put a little more back in it.
How often in motorsports do you hear we took some power out? We're coming back with more from Naples. Welcome back to Florida Sports Park, the Gator NTPA Nationals. We have just seen a full pull by Terry Blackbourn. Now it's Stan Blygrave in the Red Horse.
Out of Texas, kid out of the Lone Star State. I've seen this guy pull before. He's a serious puller. We keep talking about smoke, and guys keep coming. We don't see smoke. We're going to see smoke in this Texas, believe me.
Well, he won his first NTPA pull in 1980 in Colorado Springs at the age of 19. He's been around a few years. But he will need a full pull to prompt a pull-off, or otherwise he puts it back on the trailer and goes home.
Well, he's not hitting all the way through either. You can see the exhaust. Very sporadic. Not what he was looking for.
Now, he comes up well short, Army, at 268.8, so he will put it back on the trailer and head back home. Not the kind of run that he'd like to see down here in Florida.
No, not at all, but you just mentioned, you said down in Florida. These guys are having to adjust to something. Normally they don't. They're at sea level. That could be mixing up this fuel mixture.
There's a look at the mechanical bull, Thurman Munford.
That's the kind of bulls years ago you used to go in and fall off of when people bet that you couldn't ride that thing, I understand.
I tell you what, they still have those things around.
And you're still falling off.
Still falling off of them. The 1994 Region 4 champion, the mechanical bull, runs 2 turbos. Another international harvester. Once again, he has to go right out of the ballpark.
Sure. The whole question now is if you don't make a full pull, you're not a player. White smoke, watch it go to gray, then it go to black, and we're going on the other end.
We need some tear-offs there for the lids on our sledgehammer.
Or Garrett Camp.
See, now
he's missed the weight.
Yeah, he missed the weight. The mechanical bull is giving him a bull ride right now. So he is way off on the weight. He's making the horsepower, though.
Yeah, the black smoke tells you the horsepower's there. He just missed the weight. He got half of it right.
So his distance at 278.10. So coming up next will be Rich Lustick in the Silver Bullet. We saw him pull earlier, but that was not official, so he dropped back in the pulling order. So he will come up next and make his attempt at a full pull. But right now, let's go back trackside to visit with our last puller, Thurman Munford.
Well, 278, you got to be tickled to death with that. The crowd really got behind you on that run.
Yeah, we were right tickled with it. We did get the front end in the air. The tractor seemed to work pretty good considering, how tough the track is, and we're satisfied.
So there was a thumbs up. We go to the cockpit now of Rich Lustick. Once again, the distance to beat is the full pull.
We've been talking about him off and on all day long today. Now, watching the gauges, I told you, like a tennis tournament. These guys, their eyes are going back and forth. When everything goes needles up, you go to the other end. Now, he looks to be a little bit light on the nose and hooking to the right arm. Oh, he goes out of bounds.
Army. Yes, he will be disqualified. Boy, that just hooked right off to the side, pulled him right off that right lane.
Like it had a mind all its own. Well, you've got all that weight moving, it's going to happen. Let's see if we can see something break or go away. No, it just started pulling. A vehicle has a tendency to torque to the right. Maybe that big V8 engine did just that. It just pulled him out of bounds.
See, he can only tag the brake to get it back in line and couldn't do it. He has been disqualified. We'll go trackside now and visit with Rich.
Well, Richard, I tell you what, you almost have to be heartbroken over that. Everybody was watching. They figured you had the hot hand today, but it's like the tractor almost had a mind of its own. When it decided to go right, it was going right.
Yes, it was. We ruptured a master brake cylinder on the left-hand side, and I couldn't get it corrected. There's what happened.
So the pulling competition continues as we return to Florida Sports Park. We are ready now for our final pull of the competition here at the Gator NTPA Nationals, and there is a look at Joey K. Joey Kwiatkowski from up in Gore, Michigan, driving Wild Thing. He'll be the last one to take a shot at Terry Blackbourn. Of course, Terry pulled it out of here, so Joey the K will have to have a full pull.
Man, I'm glad you said Joey the K. I can't pronounce this guy's last name. Being from the South, I'm sorry. Let's keep an eye on him. This guy's keeping an eye on him. He's sitting out there 300 feet away knowing Joey's going to be coming after him like a fast-moving freight on a Wild Thing.
Well, 30 years in the sport, he drives the Wild Thing. It's an international harvester.
Up on the RPM, the green flag. Oh, he's making horsepower, Gary. He's cranking. Looks at the gauges, rolls off the clutch. Here we go.
Look
at
a good ride.
Oh, look at the black smoke. Oh, that chirping sound tells you he lifted a turbocharger.
He chirped a turbocharger at 127 feet. That means that Terry Blackbourn is our winner in the Superstock class. He's with Army.
Well, Terry, you thought somebody else could get it out the end. You seem to be the only guy that had it figured out today. What did you have figured out that the other people didn't?
Well, Army, we took a little power out of it, and we thought we'd get hooked up a little better. It was sounding kind of rough, and we seen four-wheel drives ahead of us there that weren't running too smooth, and they kind of got hooked up. So we thought we'd try that. We got a wastegate, we turned it down, turned the power down a little bit, and we thought that helped us get hooked up.
Anybody need to thank out here? Y'all know nobody does this alone.
Well, I'd like to thank Max Tools and Grove Automotive for getting me going there at the last minute.
So we look at the final standings with Terry taking it out of here. The full pull. George Everett wins second, then Jerry Van Dorp, Thurman Munford, and Stan Blygrave. Let's go back and talk to Joey K.
Joe, I'll be real honest with you. We were with Terry when you made your run. He was sweating BBs, and you came off that line. He thought, man, this guy's coming after me like a fast-moving freight. Then something went away. What did go away?
I think I lost boost pressure. I just, tires lost contact with the track and just didn't have enough force there to keep my blowers turning. I just got underneath them.
Well, our congratulations to Terry Blackbourn out of the state of Wisconsin on his victory. It has been a great day here on the edge of the Everglades in Naples, Florida. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next week on Trucks and Tractor Power. Now here's news and exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.